Today we're going to look at lineups, setups on Ascent with the new agent Habor. So with that being said, let's jump right into it. Starting out with the first setup on A side, we start with an orb and door to make sure that people can safely close the door and also enter site without getting spammed from this door. For the lineup, we're going to go into this box over here, and then we're going to aim our pointy thing of our mouse button clicks. You can see that right here. Going to aim that exactly at this corner right here. Super simple. It's like actually just pointing like that. And you can throw the orb very simply and it perfectly lands and covers the door. Obviously you have to keep in mind that people can still hide in here. So if you close the door, make sure that if the smoke fades or someone shoots it, actually check this corner. The cool thing about throwing this orb, which is also super easy to do, is that you can perfectly push it with a cascade at the same time. So if you do something like this, you can push the side and your team can push the side while basically also having a moving wall that's going in. And the best thing about this is that you do not even need to use your high tide. You can use the high tide after the bomb is planted, after the doors may be broken. You can do something like this where you basically have a wall here and that covers heaven a little bit as well. This setup is much easier to use to basically keep the side in a post-plant position. The thing which I would not recommend doing is because you're basically just wasting the potential of this wall is doing this from the game start. The reason for that is that it basically doesn't give you too much of an advantage of this wall. It is an extremely large wall which you can basically cross over the entire side, and you're basically using it like it would be an omen smoke or a brimstone smoke. You still have to clear a ton of angles, and you do not really use the full potential of this wall. What I would rather recommend doing is doing it like an Astra wall, where you basically cut the side in half and make sure that you can have a lot less spots which you have to check afterwards. So you can basically come here and you can only check these few spots and you do not have to worry about the rest of the backside. This wall is also perfect for eco runs because you obviously get the high tide for free. It doesn't give you obviously that much stability, especially on the door side, that you cannot shoot through it, but it obviously is for free, and in eco runs this is a game changer. Things I would highly advise against is using the Cove for heaven. This is not a normal smoke. It is meant to be blocking damage. So you would rather want to use it in any kind of situation where you get spammed a lot. For example, the door, which makes a lot of sense. But using it in heaven as a just wannabe brimstone or omen smoke just doesn't make any sense. It's way too expensive. It basically also needs a lineup, and it's just not effective. For Haven or any kind of other things, you would always want to use the Cascade because it basically gives you the full advantage of an Omen or Brimstone smoke, but it doesn't cost as much and you do not need a lineup for it. Coming into mid, and there's not really much that you can do here besides just using the Cascade to push with it to mid. It is a super effective tool, and basically you want to stop it here and you basically have a free mid every time you go. I think this character is extremely broken on attack, a little bit useless on defense. I think it's really hard to stop people, but on attack, as you will see on the B side, this is an absolute game changer because you can use it so many ways. So for example, the Cove can be also used to block Sova spam. We all love it when a Sova is sitting here and just spamming you with the Odin, and then your teammates just think, okay, I can run in and then die. This orb can actually block most of the damage that is coming through. So if you are fast enough and you throw the orb like here and you push through this, you block a lot of the damage that's coming in from the Odin. So that might be a helpful way if your team is always dying, especially in low elo. I think that is a big problem there. So this might be a thing that you want to consider doing. Another cool lineup with the orb is a very sneaky way that you can probably not use a lot, but if you throw an orb like here, so if you aim at the top of the bar here and stand in this corner on the two boxes, you basically allow yourself to enter onto the side without being seen and also without being shot, which is a really cool way which you can use to maybe get 1 or 2 free rounds. Obviously, if you do this too much, people will know what you're doing and do not think that you just messed up a smoke or something. But I think to get a free round, this is definitely a cool way in how to use the smoke. On the side, there's also a nice lineup with the orb, which you can use to basically push side for free. And you're going to throw the lineup, same thing with our pointy thing here from the mouse buttons. We're going to aim at this position over here, and we're going to just throw the orb. And you can see it lands perfectly for the door again, and also covers this area. So if someone is standing in here, it has to break the orb first, and then they can actually shoot you. And then you can also, same thing here, push this with the Cascade, and then clear the angles and then push the rest. Same thing here again, it will allow you to keep the Cascade, which you can then use for post-plant situations, where you, for example, could do something like this, which allows you to hold this position over here very nicely because they have to push to the smoke. But keep in mind that every person that has to push to this also gets slowed down, which will definitely give you a free shot if someone is pushing that one. And so you basically rob the defenders a lot of time when they try to defuse. That basically wraps up for the setups on Ascent. Hopefully you enjoyed this one. If you learned something, leave a like, subscribe, and I will see you guys back in the next one. Bye.